Hey guys, it's Old Man G here, back again with another video for Red Devil Studio, and today we're going to talk about the latest reports regarding Aubameyang to Manchester United. So first of all, once again, please guys, please like, share and subscribe to Red Devil Studio and follow us on Twitter at We United X. Really appreciate the support from everyone. Let's push and let's get to our next landmark, which is 500 subscribers. So, without further ado, let's get into the news. So, it's basically being reported, reports in Italy, specifically FCInter News, that Manchester United have made a 62 million bid for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Now, clearly, this seems to indicate, or seems to suggest, that there's a strong possibility that Romelu Lukaku is not going to be a Manchester United player next season. The idea, obviously, or the assumption is that Inter Milan will meet Lukaku's asking price, although it seems, as we've said in previous videos, that this is probably going to be like a 60 million payment with added bonuses or incentives, etc. Whether United will accept that or not will remain to be seen, but that seems to be where they're going. So clearly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to get a replacement for Lukaku in, and apparently Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is the option from Arsenal. Now, this is the second/third time this has been mentioned. Aubameyang hasn't come out completely and denied everything, although again this is maybe just speculation. But let's be frank here. Arsenal sold to rivals before. They sold to us Van Persie. They sold to us maybe much less of a success than Alexis Sanchez. But it's not that they haven't sold their best players to us in the past for the right money. And the key thing with Arsenal is that they have owned Stan Kroenke, who's basically a money grabbing, owner. And so if United offered the right amount for Aubameyang, considering that Arsenal are cash strapped at the moment, there's a very good chance that they could sell Aubameyang. Do I think Aubameyang would be a good? I think the way I sort of see it is that yes, Aubameyang is older than Lukaku, but Aubameyang has got the experience. He's got experience in Premier League. He was joint Golden Boot last season, so he can definitely score goals. He's got a good first touch. And he's got pace. I think when you see, obviously, like Rashford and Greenwood who are coming into the fray, I think certainly from a Greenwood point of view, although I feel Greenwood will get games this season, it will certainly be a way of transitioning him into the squad and maybe not relying on Rashford so much for goals. Because I feel if Lukaku does score, as I've said in previous videos, we still need to replace those goals from somewhere. He scored 15 goals in the Premier League last season, and obviously goals in the Champions League, etc. So he scored in excess of 20 goals for us. And when I know it may seem a lot to a lot of United fans, there's still goals at the end of the day. And Martial, Rashford, and Lingard did not chip in. In fact, I remember essentially after Lukaku scored the brace against and Rashford scored the penalty against PSG, I cannot recall Rashford or Martial really scoring any other goals, certainly from open play, until the end of the season. So I believe it is a bit of a risk if Lukaku does go that we just rely on Martial, Lingard, Rashford and potentially Greenwood to fill in that gap. So I think it's good that we're linked with a forward. I think Aubameyang would be a good choice, and I think if we could get him for 60 to 65 million, that is a steal, I think. The question is whether would Arsenal really sell their best player, arguably, or maybe you could argue it's between Aubameyang and Lacazette. Probably Lacazette may be slightly better coming towards the end of the season, but would Arsenal sell the player to the rivals? And I mean, I imagine if this deal was to go through, Arsenal fans would go mental. They go mental the board. They go mental Aubameyang. AFTV would probably get to 2 million subscribers. I mean, it would just be absolutely manic. So I think that I still think it's unlikely to happen. But I think the fact that there's even a suggestion that this could be the case, I think is good, because as I've been saying, we really, if Lukaku does go, we need to replace him. If Lukaku and Pogba go, we need to replace them. We can't have the transfer window close with out getting potential replacements of Pogba and Lukaku. Again, bearing in mind that the transfer window for the other European leagues will close a lot later. So we have to bear that in mind. So yeah, tell me what you think, guys. Do you think that Aubameyang to Manchester United is a good signing? Do you want Aubameyang at Manchester United? Do you feel like he would be a good, or do you think he's maybe too old? Do you think we should go for someone else like Mario Icardi? Although reports from Inter suggest that Mario Icardi wants to basically sit out his main 2-year contract at Inter and doesn't want to leave. Just wants to see what happens, which I don't really get, considering that it's not just the manager that's against Icardi, it's the actual owner of the club that wants Icardi out. So irrespective of which manager comes in or not, Icardi is still wanted out by the top brass of the club. So I'm not really sure what he's doing there, to be honest. Similar with Bale, I guess, although at least Perez hasn't officially said he wants Bale out of the club. It's just a Zidane. But anyway, yeah, guys. Still waiting on news on Harry Maguire and Bruno Fernandes, although there is apparently United are prepared to make a bid for Bruno Fernandes fairly soon, and we're just still negotiating with Harry Maguire. But stay tuned for more updates because the beginning of the league is coming soon, guys. And I don't know what you guys think, but seriously, although watching pre-season, it builds a bit of optimism. It is just pre-season. And our first game of the season is against Chelsea, and we really need to hit the ground running. We really need to win the game, and we need to have a team that is basically ready to compete. And I feel if we're down on Lukaku and down on Pogba, that puts us at a major disadvantage. Not that I think that Pogba's consistent or Lukaku is amazing, but ultimately they are still players of the squad that have contributed. And we still have players of our squad that, to be honest, like Rojo, for example, even Darmian, Sanchez, for example, that have not contributed. They're still part of the squad, but they haven't contributed, I would argue, much, if anything at all. And those are the types of players that need to leave, although increasingly, as we're noticing this transfer window, a lot of these players are gonna unfortunately stay put. Right, so thanks again for listening, guys. I'll shout out again for our roundtable Red Devil Studio Live, which will be taking place on Sunday, where we're getting a couple of fans from the clubs, Famici, Team KK1 and OJ, fans of Arsenal, Liverpool and Chelsea respectively. Then we're going to discuss about what would we hope our starting 11s are going to be for the upcoming season, who would prefer to captain the side, amongst other things. And we're going to be taking your questions as well. Thanks for listening again, guys. Hit that notification button to get the latest videos from Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter at WeUnitedX. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe this video. Have a great evening, guys, and cheers.